And Richard Hart's been very open in the past. He has admitted that they have each other's cell phone. They do talk. They have a long history of knowing each other. I wouldn't necessarily say they're friends, but they're colleagues in a big community, and they have similar viewpoints and they have disagreeing viewpoints. Nothing wrong with that. But I think both of them respect each other for their intelligence in crypto. And there's nothing, and I'm sure Richard Hart, Eric Wall is a blockchain specialist, so to speak. And like he said, he's not an engineer, but he writes more about blockchain critical limits and critical discussions more than anyone in the community. So he is very respected in the crypto world.
Eric also he almost ridiculed him a little bit though when he said, "Why did you come to me?" Right? Why did you come to me, Richard? Isn't that what he said? Or did I miss? Like I said, I it was bad audio.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So he
yeah.
was ridiculing him.
But
Why did you
that's the
come to me?
drama
There's a
part.
bunch of other people that you could have consulted.
Well, that's the
Well,
drama part, right? That's the other side
it is,
of the
but
documentary.
yeah, you gotta remember too. Eric Wall is using this as an opportunity for himself too. He's gonna promote. There was a section they were bragging about the tops that they called and the bottoms that they called and how they were better at calling. Who cares what Eric is I don't know. He's a trade caller. I don't know, but it was very important to him to get that out there, and he's probably saying, "Oh, I hope that makes the movie. I hope that part makes it in the cut." So he's doing this for clout too. Don't be mistaken about it, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
it was a
yeah,
pissing
yeah.
contest.
Yeah, but now you know why Eric Wall says to Richard Hart, you did call me asking me for my advice because he respects Richard Hart. He knows that if this blows up to be one of the biggest projects and that he's known as one of the advisors, that's something that he can hang his hat on too. And he was very careful to put that out there. Why not?
And he also gets to be a big part of the documentary, which is the cloud part. So he gets to be the villain.
I thought it was cool how transparent Richard was when, Eric said, "Oh, well, you didn't listen to me when I said this or whatever." And Richard was like, "Well, yeah, because I didn't know. Like I was playing around on Bitcoin forums. I didn't even know Ethereum existed yet."
When I first listened to it, it was cringeworthy. I hated the way it was taught. I hated the I hated it. And then it's only in hindsight when I watched it again and I got to step back and watch the whole thing unfold that I realized that this was something over and above what I was actually watching.
I'm gonna have to watch it again, Crypto Goose, because I like your take on that. Watching a second time, I'm a huge MMA fan, and they always say this: watch a fight the second time if you disagree with the judges' scorecards. And so often it's true. You watch the fight again because you bring your own biases into a fight, who you're rooting for, etc. And we as a community bring our own biases into any stream that we watch. And so it's the same concept. When you watch it again, you're probably going to get a second take or a different opinion. You're going to see things that you may have missed. So I'm going to kudos to you, man. I'm going to have to watch that stream again. I only caught the second half, and so I haven't even watched the full stream yet. But I'm gonna have to do that.
Pay attention. Watch it from the beginning, even though they're not ready. The cameras are rolling. Pay close attention to the directors and the photographers, the guys who are in charge of the documentary. Pay attention to every time they interject. Pay attention to the instruction. Pay attention to the flow of that they are trying to get out, and then you will see the dance happen between the two. Do you also notice
Yeah, if you
something else?
connect all,
Do you notice
if you
something
connect
else
all the
that was
big
quite
dots,
cool?
which is essentially what you're doing for us.
Do
Sorry,
you know
Crypto
what
Goose,
else
go
was
ahead.
kind of cool? And hindsight, both of them let each other talk, even though they were saying negative things that weren't really even accurate or true or way out to lunch. They didn't really interrupt each other very much. Not like some interviews that we've seen, like Mr. McCormick just yelling, "It's a scam! You're a scam! You're a scam!" over and over. They actually had a debate. They actually got to talk. So they knew. Richard, do you think it was easy for Richard Hart to sit there and listen to all this stuff? But he let it out because he knew that they had to talk about this stuff.
I'll give this interview another chance, but my first impression was, like I said earlier, I felt like he was like Eric. He was constantly like I felt, yeah, he was constantly nitpicking things that I consider non sequiturs, and he didn't really connect the dots, in my humble opinion, from what I heard the first time around. But yeah, the analogy with I do like the analogy though with the UFC fight.
I do respect what Crypto Goose is saying about that he watched a second time and kind of got a different perspective on it. So, using that analogy is kind of where I'm coming from. But yeah, the Holly's
No,
one
no,
to fight.
it's a great analogy. It's a great analogy, and that's why I brought it up, because that's why I said sometimes that's why I brought up that fight in particular, because sometimes the judges do get it wrong, right? But I'll watch it again and I'll see if I have a different opinion of it.
Yo, yeah. No, I just wanted people's opinion on this PP talk. Like, I think we've lost a lot of money through Hex from this. Although he's gained followers and he's gained traction, the price has tanked substantially
The price
on
is going to
his.
tank regardless, bro.
So,
I don't know
so
what.
listen. Clearly, the PP talk has polarized the community. Okay, you have people that don't like it. They say they can't show their grandmother Richard Hart videos. You get other people who think it's funny. You have people who think it's bad for adoption, people who don't care. But take a step back, regardless what your belief is about the PP talk, look at the price for a minute and compare the price of Hex to the price of anything else in crypto. Nothing's different.
Yep.
Everything is tanking. So you can't necessarily blame the PP talk, 50% of the community not liking it and exiting and dumping all their bags. I don't think that's the case.
Agreed.
He seems to be getting quite emotional now, which is breaking. I feel is on his point of view. I feel it's breaking people's confidence, because he's getting aggressive. He's getting frustrated. He seems like he's losing his cool, and like people are hanging on his every word. And he's talking about peepees and flashing his cars, while people they're losing money on Hex. It's dumping on the price on
Uh,
his
I gotta
tweets.
stop you, man.
Yeah,
I gotta
and
stop you,
again,
dude. If you've been listening,
irrelevant.
listen.
The price.
No, but and again, his language or whatnot, like he's got a potty mouth. If you listen to any of his videos from from the early days up until now, like he's always had a potty mouth, way worse than what he's doing today. It's not that he's losing his cool. That's just who he is. He has to restrain himself to
Have you
not.
seen Richard Hart lose his cool? Have you
No.
ever? I have.
No.
Like I've seen some early videos where he
I
was.
have once. I have once.
Me too.
I heard him on the Twitter Spaces. He lost his shit over the NASCAR. He was angry.
It was one time, but
But for the
yeah,
most
there was
part,
another video early on where there was a Hexican, a very high ranking Hexican who was shilling another token, and he came onto a live stream and he tore a strip out of the community and him for shilling it. And I've never seen him so angry in my life. So believe me when I say that what happened today, wasn't that he was angry or that he is showing a little emotion because he's in a debate, but that's not angry. And as far as cursing,
Oh no,
probably
not today. I'm not talking about today. I was talking about. Sorry to interject. I was talking about like his tweets of lately as well. Not the interview today. Yeah, he was quite cool in the interview. His tweets of late like seem to be a bit like he's losing his cool. Like he's losing it in his words. Like with the tweet when he said, "Oh, we're not launching this month." It's like throwing his having emotion. Do you know what I mean? You know?
I didn't get that.
Me neither.
I love the guy. Listen, I'm not saying nothing like that. I love the guy. I love Hex. I'm in Hex. I'm in Pulse. I'm in Pulsex.
Yeah, you
I
don't have
love
to
the guy.
defend yourself, man. It's cool. You don't have to defend yourself. I hear what you're saying. I kind of see what you're saying.
Well, in regards to Twitter, although he has in the last couple of days shielded some profanity, at the same time he's sending a message out to the community as well, because communities having our own fights and disputes and arguments openly against each other. People are not taking their own initiative in regards to going out there and publicize it and getting more propaganda out there as it relates to Hex, and using these times to go ahead and talk about him and what he's doing wrong and what he's doing right. And it's been a lot of wrong and negativity. And so us doing that, or whomever doing that, not pointing any fingers, is not helping the situation. Bombarding him with why is it not launched because he didn't stick to his 2 week or mid-May time frame, and talking bad. Those things get back to him. He's got people that listen in here. He
That is a
pops in
beautiful
here
point.
himself. And let me tell you something. I mean, some people are mature in nature. Some are matured, in the streets. Some were raised different ways. But let me tell you something. We all have an individual responsibility. And it's not to be talking about somebody else and how they should be acting when we need to. It's like never throw a stone at a glass house. And so look in the mirror, our own selves sometimes,
Great
and let's
point,
get it
Jack.
together.
weird. Like the only tweets that I've seen that kind of, to me, tipped the hat that he was, and he actually said in a couple of tweets that he was angry, or I forget the exact, mad, whatever, but it was just because he was mad, that people, are not understanding the concept of hex. And I forget the exact verbiage in the tweet that I read. This might have been a couple of days ago now, but basically when the price started dipping again and dumped, not dumped, but has gotten down to the low state that it is, he was basically saying people are not understanding the concept of hex and they're not using it right. And I'm totally paraphrasing, but but in that text, that's what he said makes him angry, that people are not understanding the concept or the purpose behind hex and then misusing it.
All I was saying as well is like the community is growing. Yeah, they're not just day one hexagons anymore. There's people investing in a chain, in a new blockchain, and they're newcomers. And I just feel like they're not understanding enough to bear with him. He needs to be like, people are hanging on his every tweet. So any negativity in that tweet is going to affect the price, which it is. Any positivity affects it. Any negativity could be read wrong and affect it in that way as well. So I just feel he needs to be a bit more sensitive with his tweets and know where there's a lot of people hanging on his every word. Like, he's got a lot of he's gaining a lot of followers.
Do you think he should be home? Do you think he should be
I
home
totally
coding? He should be home coding, not buying
No, I
watches.
don't. No, I don't. I know he's not a coder. I'm not saying that. I just think there's a lot of people following his every word. Like, that's what I'm
let me
saying.
actually. So I'm on Twitter right now. Let me actually just read a couple of his tweets. Hold on one second. So one of them, whether you actually like a bitch during dips, though, that really can be fixed. Those that made the most in hex sat through the most dips. Support your squad, do useful things, promote what you love, be a team player. Bull markets return and leave many people behind, chasing to re-enter.